Hello, we are physiotherapists from Poland and we were involved in translating PEDro, and we are promoting knowledge about EVP, also using PEDro in Poland. Couple facts about Poland: there are 65 universities in our country with physiotherapy faculty. Around 3,000 students graduate each year. Since 2018, there is only 5 years master program with national curriculum, which is regulated by law. Each university can modify the educational curriculum, write own program, but the program must meet minimal requirements described in the curriculum. The Polish version of the PEDro database was translated thanks to the Ministry of Science and Education grant and Polish Chamber of Physiotherapy. Since PEDro translation happened some time ago, we see all benefits of it. It is useful for teachers. There are tools for students' education. We can use PEDro as a tool during teaching, and students can use PEDro, for example, with tutorials during preparing for some classes. PEDro can also be used by physiotherapists working with patients. Many knows about PEDro and more use it almost every month. Language was a barrier and still is for some. And translating PEDro was helpful, but the articles are still in English, so it may be a problem. Luckily, web tools for automatic translation can be used, and the effects of automatic translation from English to Polish is in 2022 acceptable. Poland's national average PEDro access rate achieves a medium blue on this scale. This put Poland in the top 1/3 of the countries when ranked according to the number of searches of PEDro per year. So we hope that next year will be even better. Visits on PEDro website after translation increased. You can see more intense blue on the right map, and the differences between regions are connected with the number of physiotherapists in each voivodeship, like a region in Poland. Mazovian Central region, the darkest blue, has over 11,000 physiotherapists, and the region over and to the right, they have less than 2,000 physiotherapists. We think that important reason for not implementing or in general not using tools for continuous professional development in terms of EVP is the organization of health system in our country, especially in public health system. Physiotherapists got official independence in decisions about planning physiotherapy in 2019, before the translation of PEDro. Of course, many of us did what was necessary and we had good relation with doctors, so it was not a problem, but many did not have to or did not want to decide what to do, and they just performed procedures. They did not have to decide, but often they didn't want to decide. Decisions are always connected with responsibility, and for some, it was just too much. Law changes made us all to decide about the treatment process, so if we do it, we have made doubts, we may be not sure about our decisions. And this may push us to look for the knowledge. We think that we'll need a couple more years for our physiotherapists to get used to the obligation of the decision making, and after that will come hopefully the need for knowledge, and they will look for it. And now when we have translated PEDro, first step is done. Hopefully it will be easier. In our team, we are still working to promote EVP in Poland. We plan to translate the diagnostic test accuracy database. And hopefully the next step maybe will be adaptation of the reliable practice guidelines to Polish context, probably using adapt to upgrade and development tools.
This campaign is supported by World Physiotherapy and physiotherapy organisations in Australia, Italy, France and the Netherlands. Please join us in the PEDro Tackles Barriers to Evidence-Based Physiotherapy campaign and help tackle the biggest barriers to evidence-based physiotherapy. You can follow the campaign on the PEDro webpage, blog or social media.